time again for Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, owner of Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive Hyde Park. It's the show that delves into the training, socializing, behavior, nutrition, and wellness of your dog, and brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard, with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. If it eats and grows, Guy's can feed it. And we're back with the trainer, Ian Grant, and this week, understanding different play styles. You mean there are different styles of play for dogs as well? We can even categorize that.
Yeah.
You do find categories for everything, don't you?
I try to.
Yeah, well, that's what makes the show fun, right?
Yeah.
So what do you mean by different play styles?
Well, I think, when puppies come together and they know each other, and oftentimes when that happens, puppies don't have a limiter. There's no, it's just...
Go for it 24/7.
Yeah, straight out the whole time. There's no slowing down unless, obviously, we step in or whatever, but... So we have to look at how different dogs play. Puppies with puppies are going to play. This may surprise, and I may have said this before, I prefer puppies to play with adults rather than with each other because they just don't learn much from each other.
Yeah, we covered that a few weeks ago. Yeah, actually.
So knowing energy levels has something to do with it. But here's the big thing. There is a play style where dogs get up on their back feet and they bump chests, and this is sparring.
So that's where all that comes from. And then grown men decided to do it.
Yes. Yeah, it's called football, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so we have to understand that is a really, really rough game. Especially, it's one thing if your dogs that you have at home just do it, and it never goes anywhere other than that. But if you have a dog that you're taking places and trying to socialize with other dogs, and your dog plays that way, it might come off the wrong way towards a dog that doesn't like that.
Right.
So it's important in that play style to keep, as our teacher used to say in school, 4 on the floor, keep your chair on the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
And no leaning back. So that's kind of the first thing as far as play styles are concerned.
All right, and then you got this thumb wrestling. So
I know. It's funny, right?
That sounds rather energetic.
Yeah. So these are two opposite ends of the spectrum. So sparring, they're up on their back feet, bumping chest.
Right.
Thumb wrestling, they're actually lying down either on their sides or on their stomachs facing each other and just playing with each other that way.
Oh, okay.
So it can be more of a mouthy kind of game.
A little less intense.
Way less intense.
Yeah.
And so I love just sitting back and watching dogs play like that because it's just so chilled out.
It's almost like patty cake.
It kind of is. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's like really just watching a really casual game of basketball where they're just not fighting tooth and nail, trying to play.
Going after each other.
Yeah, just kind of having a good time. And in this opposite ends of the spectrum, it's important to know where your dog falls. Also, is your dog, like I said, do you want to socialize it with other dogs? Or is it just playing with another dog at home or has a best friend that they play well together?
Yeah.
So it's understanding where your dog fits in this, and then do we need to address this because it's getting too intense, or this is good, I can just let my dog go?
Yeah, well, I know with Tika, she tends to shy away from other dogs, especially bigger dogs. I mean, dogs at her size are smaller. She doesn't mind, but she has her own ways, the way she wants to play at her own pace, and when she's done, she kind of sits.
Yeah.
And that kind of signifies to the other dog, okay, I've had enough. So all dogs have different levels of how they want to play.
And also knowing how to end it. So she's figured out that's her way to end it.
Right.
Some cases we as humans have to step in and go, okay, we're done. We have to either go our separate ways
you have to stick up for your dog. So when it's like Tika who's sitting down and the other dog wants to continue to play, you have to kind of stick up for your dog.
Yeah, because then that's advocating for her. Then she knows, okay, my mom and dad know exactly how I feel.
They got my back.
They got my back, and we can get through this.
Yeah. So like I said, dogs do have different intensities, but you have to kind of know the other dog, too, in a way. Or the other, of course, sometimes you don't, because sometimes they just come upon you.
And if that other dog plays too rough and your dog does the 4 on the floor thing, but the other dog comes over and it's getting up on back feet and bumping chests with your dog, most dogs are going to react to that like, hey, cut it out. That's too much. So we also have to advocate for them in that context, too.
Well, sometimes she'll go a step further and she'll growl, like say, okay, that's it, and it's not that she's mean or anything. She's just sending a message.
Yeah, and we can't correct that growl. Like, it wouldn't be right for us to say, hey, Tika, don't growl.
Yeah, then you're telling her don't defend herself.
Yeah, you're taking that voice away. So, yeah, we have to be careful with that.
All right. Back with our question from the doggy bag in just a moment here on Talking Dogs. Back to Talking Dogs with Ian Grant from Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive Hyde Park. Find out more about his facility and programs. Go to vermontdogboardingandbehavior.com. And our question this morning, Ian, is our 3-month-old puppy is very scared of everything. What can I do to help her? Do puppies tend to be, when they're younger, they're just kind of feeling out what they like and don't like and that kind of thing? It's not unusual, is it?
It's not unusual at all. I mean, sometimes you'll get a puppy that just is like happy-go-lucky, nothing bothers it. It's going to investigate everything. And then there's some puppies that, especially when you get them home, you just take them away from the mother, right? That can be a little traumatic.
New surroundings, new everything.
Yeah, new sounds, and so they can get very timid. I'm going to start playing with this dog. I want to share that happy-go-lucky energy, that fun energy with the dog. So really, if you look at scared or nervous and we think of what the opposite of that is, well, it would be happy and confident and everything. So how can I build that up? It's not going to happen overnight. But if I can on a regular basis teach this dog that we can be happy, that I'm happy, we can be energetic, we can play games. I may actually practice getting this dog to just walk over a broom that I lay down on the ground so it can get used to accomplishing things and building that confidence. So it's going to take some time, especially a 3-month-old puppy. You've probably had it home for a month. That is not long for a puppy to go, hey, everything's good. I know exactly where I am and I know my people. So it can take some time. But I would play regularly with this dog and just they're not this young forever.
Right, exactly. And that's when they're so cute.
They are, and it's the time to play with them and have fun and just enjoy life with them.
But also you do have to have some restrictions there. I mean, you don't want them destroying the windows and the door frames and things like that.
Well, and we've talked about how much consistency is key. So for a dog that's nervous, them knowing what to expect on a daily basis can help take away some of that nervousness.
I guess it's your first training sessions. But I mean, playing with them is a training session itself.
That's with Fitz, my golden retriever. When I brought him home, we didn't even go inside the house first. I grabbed a ball. We started playing in the yard. Yeah. This is what you can expect with us.
And what kind of a message does that send the dog then when you're playing with him right off? That okay, you're just trying to get him acclimated. This is going to be your home, and we love you, and
and we're burning off some energy too.
Yeah,
so he's not going to bounce off the walls inside the house.
Yeah. If you have a question for Ian, you can email him directly to info@VermontDogBoardingAndBehavior.com. Well, next week, Inside Your Home is off leash for your dog. So what does that mean? Does it mean you're not training them on leash? Or?
So I was teaching a workshop here a couple of weeks ago, and we were doing some leash work stuff, and we were talking about recall outside, and one of the trainers said, so inside the house is really like off leash, that kind of concept. Meaning like outside you want your dog to be off leash too. And I'm like, yeah, I never thought about it like that. So I was going to dive into that a little bit.
So we'll elaborate next week.
Yep.
Here on Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. If it eats and grows, Guy's can feed it. And for the trainer Ian Grant, I'm Roland LaJoy, and we are Talking Dogs.